A little bit of magic. That's what this book review is all about. But before I get into the video, I need to get the book first. And I don't want to wait on all the shipping and all that. So I think the method that I'm going to show you guys today is going to make it really easy. Like, it's really, really easy. Just watch. Instead of going to Amazon, checking out, and having to wait 1 to 2 days because the book has to come all the way from China to Germany, let's just try this. Huh? He was an American entrepreneur and cartoonist. Of course, I'm talking none other than Walt Disney. And in this video, I'm going to share with you guys his 3 rules for success that I got by reading his biography.
The sketches and plans you will see today are simply a starting point. Our first overall thinking about Disney World. Everything in this room may change time and time again as we move ahead. But the basic philosophy of what we're planning for Disney World is going to remain very much as it is right now. We know what our goals are. We know what we hope to accomplish. And believe me, it's the most exciting and challenging assignment we've ever tackled at Walt Disney Productions.
So, as a young kid, Walt Disney already knew what he wanted to be when he grew up. He wanted to work as a cartoonist. But there was one little problem. That profession didn't really exist when he was young, back in his times. So what did he do? Well, instead of going outside with his friends and playing ball, he actually spent a lot of time at home drawing, like finding different ways of how to draw trees, animals, etc. And he also spent a lot of time working because he wanted to help his family raise money to put food on the table. He wasn't rich. And these 2 things, right, gave him the discipline. He didn't know it at the time, but then later he found out that that's what led him to discover his second rule for success.
The old saying, "These are the things that dreams are made of," might well apply to these scale models and the drawings and blueprints. At least when we dream up new ideas for Disneyland, they first take shape and form in such preliminary studies.
Walt Disney decided to start experimenting for himself, and this was a huge experiment. He decided to start his first company. He was around age 20. And he got other artists to join him. Together they created a plan which they presented to other investors. The investors loved the idea, and bam, his company was founded. And at the beginning he was getting results. Unfortunately though, the city where he created his company, there wasn't a lot of demand for his services. So ultimately his first company went bankrupt. And it was really hard for him to learn that. But he didn't give up. He moved to Hollywood because Hollywood back then was, and actually today still is, the best city for artists. And that's when things started changing. There was demand for his services. He was able to pay off his debts because, he was getting more results. And then that's where he decided to experiment again. He was doing things that other artists were not doing. And he was getting criticized for it. His artists were saying, hey, if you make this, we won't sell it. But he was just famously quoted for saying something like, well, I'm not here to make money. I'm here to make great art. Like, money for him was just a means to an end. That wasn't his end goal. He just wanted to make great art, and money was just that thing that helped him. And he got great success, but the Second World War happened and his company ran into financial problems. There were unions also, people conspiring against him to kick him out of the company. He didn't know it at the time, but these times led him to figure out his third rule for success.
In Tomorrowland, the monorail, which started operations only 2 years ago, has already outgrown its original circuit. Its new extension leaves the Tomorrowland area of the park to parallel a modern freeway. Along this stretch, the monorail's passengers can experience a practical application of transportation of the future. Appropriately called a highway in the sky, the new Disneyland monorail system covers 2.5 miles. Not only is the monorail system an entertainment attraction, but its new extension links the park with the Disneyland Hotel. It is not impractical to believe that such a monorail system could well be the answer to the growing traffic congestion in our cities. Well, I guess you could call it daydreaming, but that's the way Disneyland was conceived. A dream that grew into a reality.
Daydreaming really saved Walt Disney's behind, and let me tell you why. So, after World War II, there wasn't a lot of demand for his services. So he wasn't selling as much, which means revenues were going down. And now there was this union saying, hey, we want, more pay. And, they were actually winning that battle. And then on top of that, the recent death of his mom just made him really sad. And not all of his creations were big successes. So he actually spent a lot of money on creating some cartoons that the people did not necessarily, buy tickets to watch his cartoons. So he was in financial troubles. And to hide away from all of this, right, he went home and he just started playing with trains. He was this big kid playing with trains. And his wife was there. He's like, hey, you cannot just spend the entire time at home playing with trains. Let's travel. Let's get some fresh air. And so he went to South America. He went to Europe. He traveled. And in one of his trips to Netherlands, I believe, he visited this amusement park. And he was so inspired by this amusement park because everything was clean, everything was in order, and he likes order, he likes things under control. And then he was just thinking, okay, so right now I lost control of my company and my life is miserable. What can I do to make me happy? I'm gonna make a land where I have full control, and that's basically actually how Disneyland was created. Granted, there's a lot more to the story. He needed to convince other investors to buy land and construct this amusement park. But imagination, daydreaming. He was daydreaming about this for a long time, and he made it happen. So that's what I'm thinking. Some of you might be thinking of a great idea and you don't know it, but that idea might just be a $1 million idea or even more. So we just, I guess, need to act upon it, no matter how crazy it sounds. So I'm dedicating this video to my younger sister. Her name is Betty. And the reason for that is because she always loved all the cartoons from Disney ever since she was a child. And me personally, I didn't know anything about Walt Disney. I didn't know that he created, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Pluto, Snow White, etc., right? And after reading his biography, I feel like I can relate to him in so many ways because I know what it's like to be ridiculed for your goals and dreams. One of the things I didn't mention about Walt Disney was that his parents were very old-fashioned, meaning they were always telling him, hey, Walt, you need to get good grades. That way you can get a safe job. And forget about your dreams about drawing. You're not going to make money about that. Now, Walt could have taken that advice, played the safe way. And if he had, then we would not have, Disneyland or Mickey Mouse or anything like that. But he just loved drawing. Really, that's all he wanted to do. And because he had his grandma was very supportive about his goals and dreams, that's all it took. One person to believe in him, and then he took it there. Then he started meeting with other people that liked what he did, and bam, snowball effect. And by reading his biography now, I can say, oh, I can use that to achieve my personal and business goals. And you guys can also do the same. So, Betty, if you're watching this, don't ever let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do. Just go for it. Anyway, guys, if you got some value from this review, please just smash that like button and subscribe. On the screen right there, you can also see some of my other reviews, so you can check it out. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.